Yeah. So, I'm headed down to Alabama. I've only got like 300 miles to do today or something like that. And then I'm going to be shut down for the rest of the weekend. Got to do a reset. And then I deliver Monday morning and all that good stuff. Got the load from Chicago, so it's pretty decent miles. I think it's like 800 or something like that. I don't know. Pretty reasonable for a weekend load. Pretty normal. But last night, and this sort of stuff happens all the time, but last night I hit a point. I mean, I don't know when exactly it happened, but it just started setting in. Just feeling burned out. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you've never felt the feeling, you don't really know what it feels like. You just feel like trash. Like, man, I don't know how else to say it. You're like sitting there, and every single mile hurts. Well, I don't know. It wasn't like that bad, but it was like to the point where I was like looking at the clock on my computer, like, oh man, I only got 4 more hours to go and I'll be done. You know, like that type of feeling, like, is this day almost over with yet? Which didn't make any sense to me at the time. Like, when it started kicking in, I was like, you know, that doesn't really make any sense. All I had to do that day was wake up, run on over to Chicago, pick up the load, and get going. And, I mean, I like running south, too, because it's just, there's some points where it's kind of scenic, and it's kind of nice. Like, you get into, well, I'm not going to hit it on this run, but, like, get into, like, Georgia, back roads of Georgia. That's some good stuff. Kentucky, that was good. There were some good sights to see in Kentucky. There always is every time I go through. Just sort of looking around and scenic. But yeah, I mean, it was like, shit, I don't know, probably like 6 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. And I started feeling that feeling where I was like, man, is today over yet? And instead of just being like, you know, man, like, I don't even want to do this, I'm just going to pull it in and shut it down. I just said, you know what, I'm going to make it till 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to shut it down, and then that way I'll be able to wake up at 7 and get it going again. And the like weird burnout, whatever the hell, it sort of fell into today too, because I didn't wake up, I didn't even hear my alarm clock go off, nothing. Same thing happened yesterday, and I didn't even hear it go off, so I woke up at like 10 o'clock, and I mean, the thing, I think the thing for me is that I get burned out, and it's not a like a my situation thing or whatever. I don't even know how to explain this properly. Like, basically, when I started feeling that, I just started examining it immediately. Immediately, I was like, wait, hold on. Why are you feeling this right now? Like, how come you're feeling this way when you've been gone for literally a week and a half, something like that? Yeah, week and a half, 26, yeah, something like that. Maybe like a total of like 9 days. That's how long I've been gone. And I started examining it, and I realized that the reason that I'm feeling burned out is 100% my fault. And I don't know if most people want to think like that, or if they like just don't want to look in the mirror and be that real with themselves, or what. But I don't know. I can do that. I can look at my situation and say, why is this happening to me right now? And I'll tell you the reasons why it's happening. Number one, I know that the reason that I'm feeling burned out right now is because for the past couple of months, my dispatcher, he's been able to get me home for my resets. And that used to happen for a little while, and then it stopped happening, and it started happening again, and I just sort of got used to it. And that's an issue. That isn't, by the way that I look at it, that's an issue. Because I'm not meant to go home every weekend. I don't like going home every weekend, because it sucks up your money. Like, you just start doing stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, let's go stop at, wherever the hell, and you gotta put gas in the car, you gotta buy beer because you're gonna be drunk and all this stuff and yada yada yada. But I realized that the reason that I was feeling that partially was because I was used to being home every weekend, like being home and just relaxing a little bit and being able to see people. And I realized that was part of the reason of me feeling bad about my situation, almost like in the weirdest sort of way. But that's not the sole reason either. And I know for a fact that another piece to that puzzle is the fact that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. And again, I don't know if other people can just look at their situation and say, like, why, like, examine it this, like, to this extent or whatever. But I mean, when I got the time, you got all the time in the world to just sit and think about it. And so basically, part of the reason is because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, meaning I'm not waking up when I'm supposed to. I'm not being on time when I'm supposed to. Like, I think the majority of the loads that I've had on this trip out have been there on time. I'm trying to think back here for a second. Yeah, I think they've all been on time. There's not been any where it's like, if it is late, it's like late by an hour. But for me, that bothers me. I don't like that. And I don't know. For me, I need, like, when I woke up at 10 o'clock today, that added to my feeling of burned out. Just because I slept too long. And it's not what I'm supposed to do. I mean, it's hard to explain because there's no reason for me to be waking up at 7 o'clock. Like, this, once I get 300 miles down the road here, I'm done for the day, I'm done for tomorrow too. So there's no reason for me to be rushing like that. But when I wake up early, when I wake up, like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever, I feel more like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, rather than, oh man, I'm being lazy about this. So that sort of plays into it too. Man, I don't know. I'm trying to think about it here. I'm not sure if another part of the reason is that my truck is kind of messy. I'm not sure, because I don't know. Everything is where it usually is. That's the weird thing. Is most of the stuff that's in my truck is where it's usually at, but there's just a lot of stuff laying on the floor. I basically use like the passenger's like footwell. That's basically a garbage can as far as I'm concerned. Like when I'm done with some like box or whatever, that like it just flies out of my hand straight into the passenger footwell. Like I just leave it there until I get to a terminal, and then I empty it out every time. And I mean, it's never been an issue up to this point. So I don't know. I don't know if that's part of it either. I don't think so. I wouldn't think so, if I had to say. I don't know. But I mean, the thing about being burned out is I know once I get over to where I'm shutting down for today and tomorrow, that tomorrow is going to be like, oh man, when can I get back to driving? Like I don't want to sit here anymore. All of this stuff. And then when I'm back going again, I'm going to be like, oh, thank God. Like, just the first couple of gears you grab after a reset, it's like, oh, back to it, thank God. Like, you get, like, sick of sitting around for so long. And I also think that part of the reason why I'm feeling burned out is because I didn't get very, very good miles this week at all. I did the math, and I think I'm sitting at like 2,000 miles for the whole week, which is trash. That's really not good. I mean, normally I feel bad at like 25 up to like 27, 28. Like I'll still feel like, oh man, I didn't even do what I was supposed to this week. Like, I didn't even drive at all. So this week, with having stuff like that just lining up strange and, like, nothing really came together like it was supposed to. I mean, I understand that stuff like that happens, but for me, like, I don't know, I think it adds to that burnout factor. Another factor of the burnout is being bored. I remember last night, usually what I'll do is when I'm driving, I find something that I want to listen to, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a live feed from another trucker that's on YouTube. I like to watch those a lot because, you know, sometimes there's interesting stuff in there about, you know, just trucking in general. Either from a company standpoint or owner-operator standpoint, you can learn a couple of things just from watching stuff like that. Or if I'm just not feeling like listening to someone talk, I'll just listen to music. Just roll around and scroll through whatever. And I mean, my iPod's got like, I think it's like a day and a half worth of music on it if you just played everything start to finish. I think it's something like that. I cannot remember. I think it's got like 600, 700 songs on it or something like that. So I can just scroll through that thing, and I got all the old music that I really like, and all like the classics for myself. All that stuff is on there. So sometimes you just listen to that. But last night, I was sitting there like, man, I don't, like, there's nothing that's gonna hold my, like, that's gonna hold my attention like that, like it's supposed to. Like, because usually I throw something on and I'm just riding, and I'm not worried about nothing. I'm just listening to it. It's entertaining. and the miles just fly past. But last night, it was like, man, like there's just nothing that could fill my quench I don't know, like that could satisfy my thirst of boredom that I was feeling. I don't know if quench was the right word, so I switched that. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was a rough night. But I also know from previous experiences that this feeling doesn't last forever. I know that. And I'm not gonna lie to you. There was points where I was like sitting there like, man, I don't feel like moving this truck anymore permanently. Like you just sit there and you're like, man, I feel like I'm just done. Like I don't even want to touch a steering wheel again. I don't want to do nothing. Like you just get burned out to that extent. But I also know from previous experiences that I get to feeling like that sometimes, and a couple of days afterwards, everything is fine. Everything is glorious, and like I think back to how I was thinking, I'm like, man, how was I feeling like that? Like that's the strangest thing in the world. So the fact that I know that this stuff passes helps too. I mean, it's just a feeling thing, and eventually that goes away. I don't know. It's burned out. Being burned out is a strange thing because it like comes in waves, and you're like, man, I don't feel like doing nothing, and yada yada yada, and then eventually you're like, man, I can't believe that I was thinking like that, and I don't want to do anything else ever again. Like, I can't believe that my shift is almost over. I want to keep driving the whole night through. I mean, it just works like that. So I think that the burnout that I've been experiencing, and I mean, it hasn't been for that long. Like Wednesday, or when was that Wednesday? Might not have been Wednesday. I think it was Thursday. Thursday, didn't feel it at all. Friday morning, didn't really feel it at all. Friday afternoon into the evening, started feeling it a little bit. Still feeling it pretty good, pretty reasonably right now. Like just kind of, like I don't want to keep driving at all. Like I'm just kind of sitting here getting through the day. But I know that it's going to pass. I know that full and well. That eventually I'm going to come through the other side and I'm going to be feeling great about what I'm doing. Oh yeah. But yeah, burnout doesn't last forever. There's probably a reason why it's happening, and in my case especially, it's my fault. I mean, the miles thing, you can't really do anything about that. The waking up part, I already examined that, and I know why I'm not waking up when I'm supposed to, and I think I just gotta start putting work back in front of like just shutting down and being entertained through the night, and like staying up until you're exhausted. Like that sort of stuff is not good. So I already examined all of that, and I mean, it's just one of those things. Just deal with it, and it'll pass, and a new day will begin, and feel different about that one than you did the last one, and be somewhere else, and you feel differently about that, and some type of load will come up, and feel differently about that than you did about the one you got. And I don't know. It's just the trucking life, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I've been rambling on too long. This video is going way over its expiration. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Just keep entertained throughout the whole day. Not really think about, how my week's been going. Try and just, I don't know, try and veg out about it. Just relax and get to where I'm going and shut it down and try again next week. Make it better then. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. So, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.